Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. There's a lot to cover. First, I need you to hit the subscribe button. I'm also happy to announce that we're at about 500 subscribers, which is amazing, and we just jumped over 150,000 views. I want to thank each and every one of you for that. It means so much. Jump right into the episode. The first thing we see, and this is a huge episode, we see Steffy, and she tells Thomas that she may have killed Allie. This is huge news. Now, Thomas chalks it up to survivor's guilt and says it wasn't, within her power. She's just going through survivor's guilt. And Steffy says it actually wasn't an accident. And she tells Thomas that Allie planned to kill her, and now she feels like she should have run, when she saw this coming, because she knew, and she says that Allie had said to her. Now, Steffy says that she wasn't remembering things right and that she did hit her with the tire iron. Steffy recalls what happened to Thomas. She goes through each and every thing that we saw, and Thomas says that this was a self-defense. Now, Steffy also says this was a reflex action, and he wants to know who she told. Now, Steffy says that she wants to tell the cops, and Thomas says no. He says, he's already lost enough. He lost one sister. He doesn't want to lose her. And Thomas says that, the reflex action is the definition of an accident, and that changing her story is not going to bring Allie back. But let's jump right into the really important part. The first thing I want to say is, this deals with transgender, and we've been dealing with this. And I want to say to the people who have been writing to me, I love that you want to talk about the stories. But if you actually want to run transgender people into the ground and make a commentary on the fact that you think this is unnatural, you come to the wrong place. I really respectfully want to ask you to go to a forum, because I don't want to talk about that with you. This isn't the place for that. We're talking about a fictitious show and the characters, and I want to stick to that. So thanks for that. Now, the first thing we see is Julius, and he tries to say to Maya after she stopped the wedding that Maya has a medical condition, but Maya's not trying to hear that, and she asked Julius if he'd be more comfortable leaving. Now, Julius doesn't want to be called out like this, and he asks, Maya asked Julius what she is to him, and Julius says, I refuse to be embarrassed or called out by my child, and he's not going to give in. So he says that he's there to do his fatherly duty and give her away. But Maya says, you can't give away something that you've already thrown away. And it just gets bigger after this. Now, Maya tells Julius that she heard what he said and the fact that he despises her. And Julius explodes. But Maya is not backing down. She blasts him, and things go back and forth. But she also praises her mom for getting her out of harm's way when she knew her father couldn't deal with, with her. Now, Julius says that he thought the best thing to do was to give her distance, but there's more to it than that. And when Rick objects, Julius jumps in and says that he had a daughter, not a son, who runs around and takes pretty pics, and now she has to rely on Rick and his money. So things are getting really nasty. And Julius tells everyone about his dad, who was named Myron and pulled himself up. And Rick asks him to leave at this point. But Julius turns around and says a couple things. Now, he says to Rick that, that he's basically with somebody that nobody else wants. And he also, when he's talking about his dad, says that on his deathbed, his dad called him in and basically told him that he had disowned him because of the shame that Maya had brought on the family. So this gets really bad, and at this point Julius has got tears in his eyes and he just wants to leave. He's humiliated, he's been called out, and he tells Vivienne that he wants to leave, and Vivienne stands up to him. She says no. She says she's staying to see her daughter get married, and Julius says, you want to stay for this freak show. And then at this point, everybody's hair standing on end. It's about as tense as you can get. Julius then says Maya isn't his flesh and blood and anymore, and he calls all of this unnatural. And then Vivienne turns around and says, you know what's unnatural? Unnatural is when you cast Maya out and you made me go along with it. And at that point, she recalls a really private time when this all went down, and she asked Maya for forgiveness. Now, Julius blames Maya now for breaking up the entire family, and Maya says that she's her own woman now, and she doesn't need his acceptance and doesn't want him there. And then Julius leaves, and Vivienne turns to Maya and says that she was wrong, and she feels like a terrible person for backing up Julius, and she feels that she's wasted her life being weak. And then she tells Maya that she's so beautiful and she's proud to be her mother. And that's where we leave things off. So a really huge episode. I can't even believe this. So anyways, I want to thank you all for checking out B&B Talk. This was one of the biggest ones. Don't forget to follow us on social media and have a great day. Thank you.